Okay, thanks for coming over to Fight Night TV. This is another one that I was ringside for. Not the Lennox Lewis part of it, but the UK part of it. I hope you enjoy this one. It's quite a long bill. Whether I chop it up or leave it at one, I don't know, whatever. Thanks for coming over. Like, share, whatever. Thanks. Enjoy the fight.
Sensation! Steve Collins has got it!
You're going to see a knockout.
Introducing Boom Boom Johnson.
Nas, I'm going to knock your spots off. When I let these rocket launchers go, KO.
The talking stops right here.
Night of the Champions.
Hello there. Last weekend we brought you the 24-hour boxing blitz. 2 nights of World Championship boxing from both sides of the Atlantic, an ambitious double bill. But then it was designed to give many of our finest fighters the chance to further their own ambitions on the world stage. 5 world title fights coming up. Shortly we'll see the action from the Night of the Champions at the London Arena. But first to where it all began in the early hours of Saturday morning, and Lennox Lewis bid to regain the vacant WBC World Heavyweight title, a fight we will not forget. The venue, the Hilton Hotel. Lewis had spent 2.5 years in frustration, waiting for this opportunity to win back the belt he lost to Oliver McCall. Since then, his career has been reshaped by Emmanuel Stewart, but at the age of 31, Lewis surely knew that there would be nowhere left to go if he couldn't win this one. McCall reigned only briefly as a champion, but at times his life has appeared to be completely out of control, and even as he rushed to the ring, there were fears that his unpredictability was going to follow him. It was a fight that will live in memory, perhaps for some of the wrong reasons. Reg Guttridge and Jim Watt, the commentary team, and the Master of Ceremonies, Michael Buffer.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. From the Las Vegas Hilton, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! In the blue corner, wearing black, weighing 237 pounds. He brings a professional record of 8 victories, 20 by knockout, against 6 losses. This evening he plans a return to glory by proving his victory over 2.5 years ago against the man he now faces was not a fluke. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, introducing the WBC number 2 ranked heavyweight contender, the former WBC World Heavyweight Champion, the Atomic Bull, Oliver McCall.
A little bit of show off there, but he's really confident. He's up for this one, isn't he?
And across the ring in the red corner, wearing white trimmed with a Union Jack, weighing 251 pounds. He's a 1988 Olympic gold medal winner, who now, as a professional, has a record of 29 victories, 24 by knockout, with only 1 defeat. And tonight, he has the chance to regain this title by avenging that lone loss on his record. From East London, England, presenting
Canada,
the number 1 ranked WBC heavyweight contender, former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
Well, that's the biggest hand he's had in fights in America, beyond doubt. Obviously, the troubles that McCall has had, certainly brushes with the law, has a lot to do with this, but I have to emphasise, when he's finished giving orders here, must interrupt. This fellow's a judge in Reno, this referee.
We've already gone through the instructions. This is for the title. I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from Mr. Lewis's corner? Mr. McCall's corner. Let's get it on.
That's it. Let's get it on. As I must emphasise that the state commissioner in Nevada, Mark Ratner, was telling me that McCall was completely clear of any drugs when they examined him thoroughly a couple of days ago, and of course it's automatic that both fighters get the drug test afterwards. So now these new religious convictions of McCall now, when that bell goes, well, he's on his own. And this fella so wants to get revenge here that you could almost taste it. So it didn't seem it was ever going to happen, this fight. They thought maybe McCall would walk out at one stage when he was throwing Christmas trees or something in a hotel, and then rehearsing for tossing the caber. He's going to throw that first right hand as soon as he can now, McCall. It just brushed past Lewis's chin. Massive size, stone in it, with Lewis at 17 stone 13.
Well, Lewis must think about his defence, but he mustn't think defensively. He just has to do everything from a sound defence. He's started the first round with a fairly wide stance, so I think he intends using his feet to get him out of trouble in the early stages here, which is good news. He doesn't want to lean back from McCall. That's it. See, he's stepping back. He's using that wide stance, and they're just stepping back from McCall.
Oh, now he's tried his right hand now, Lewis, so that's one each. But a better punch from Lewis.
And that's good because Lewis does want a positive start, make full use of that jab. Frank Bruno confused McCall with the jab. Larry Holmes, an aging Larry Holmes, confused him with it. So Lewis wants to do the same thing, certainly in the first couple of rounds.
He's not jabbing terribly hard with that left-hand lead there, Lewis, but it's just range finding with it, really, trying to load up his punches before he pulls the trigger, which certainly would be a right hand, although he's a good left hooker when he can time that well.
Well, I think there's plenty of time to think about the left hook. I would just like to see him with the straight shots, keep McCall at bay. This is a good positive first round from Lewis. This is as good a first round as we could expect to see so far.
We've been looking for improvement. I'm convinced that Emmanuel Stewart has done a good job, actually. The first one he's got to his mind and changed his style a little bit now, a bit more professional. Rid of those sort of fluffy edges that he had as an amateur.
So Lewis is keeping him out of range. This is an excellent start. Just wants to keep that concentration. Just keep pumping the jab. A jab confuses Oliver McCall.
Well, you can hear manager Frank Maloney there saying, focus, big man. Well, I think he is. I don't think you have to worry about that. You can't afford to relax a second. No fighter can, but particularly when you know that you've been knocked over by your opponent.
Well, I'm pleased to see how positive Lewis's attitude is in the first round. I was worried he'd maybe go to sleep, maybe be thinking too defensively, but this is an excellent start.
There's no chance McCall can outbox him. He may think he can, but there's no way he can do that, I don't think.
See, he's not even allowing McCall to launch that right hand. He's keeping him off balance, keeping him on his back foot. If you can force Oliver McCall back, then you take half of what he has out of his arsenal.
Yeah. He's only prodding it by his standards, Lewis, with the left-hand jab, Jim.
But he's not allowing McCall to do anything.
Keeping him at range.
And he's getting a round in the bag.
Yeah, that's one in the bag. That's good news for Lennox Lewis. Over in McCall's corner, well, that's George Benton on the outside of the ropes. He's in my opinion, he's one of the best trainers in the game. He was a good middleweight too, who could have been a world champion except for one or two great ones around at the time. But as I said, totally unpredictable, this fella. You just don't know what he's going to get up to. Even at the weigh-in, they had a lady drug counsellor following him around. So coming up for the second round then, the vacant WBC version of the heavyweight championship. And Jim Watt and I certainly gave Lewis the opening round.
Well, Oliver McCall, as we all know, Reg, is a hothead. If Lewis can just keep frustrating him with that jab, don't let him get to work, he's going to start becoming that little bit desperate. He's going to start making mistakes. He's going to start swinging at Lewis. Then maybe Lewis can move in with the big shots. But he just wants to keep doing what he's doing, just getting this guy's nerves for a couple of rounds with that jab. The jab's working well, the timing's good. Well, he got on his bike there, Reg, but quite right to do so. Get yourself out of trouble, whatever it takes. See, McCall just rushing past the jab. He can't box his way past it. He's now rushing past the jab. This is when Lewis has to be careful.
Oh, that was a decent shot. He pulled away, tried to pull away from it, Jim, but that landed okay.
They both landed at the same time with the left hand, but McCall's was better. See, that was poor defensive work from Lewis. 2 punches to an unprotected chin. That was careless once again.
Not much infighting going on there.
A good right hand.
Oh, the atomic bull stuff again here. He's fearless, this character.
Yeah, Mills Lane will have to be strict about this, shoving the forearm in his face.
Oh, that uppercut there, that reminded McCall that Lewis was not standing for too much nonsense.
It's too early for Lewis to be taking chances.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to trade with this guy at the moment.
His head's all over the place there, McCall. He didn't know where he was, Jim. I don't mean hurt, he just didn't know where he was going. Oh, good shot. That's the way, right through the defence that one went. He's gritting his gum shield like mad there, Lewis. We're right on the ring apron, Jim Watt and I here. We can not only see the punches coming, but hear each thud.
Well, Reg, McCall's punches certainly better than Lewis's in this second round. Every serious attack that McCall has launched, he's got results from it. Lewis's defences when he's forced onto his back foot are fairly loose. McCall's punching up to this point in the second round better than Lewis's.
Oh, they just caught him high with that punch, Lewis, on the side of the head.
And he's taken McCall's jab as well. Really, Lewis's defences have scattered a little bit in this round.
You know, when he gets back to the jab, he's a bit more authority about him there, Lewis. He just pinching some points as we get the clappers at the timekeeper alongside us there for the end of the second round. Oh, that was a good shot by Lewis, Jim, right above us there.
Well, that was a close round. That was a tough round for both guys, but I just thought McCall's punching that little bit better quality there.
I tell you what, this fellow looks in good shape, whatever happens now, Jim McCall. You know, all the problems he's had in rehab clinics and so forth. He's whipped himself into shape. It shows here, doesn't it? Third round. He's got to start banging that punch in there. Lewis keeping his man at range all the time, really. He does so much better with long arm punches, Lewis.
See, it might look a little bit negative, just pumping the jab, but this is all right. Lewis wants some rounds in the bag. I mean, I really feel this fight could go all the way. If not all the way, it'll be a long fight. So Lewis wants as many rounds in the bag early as he can get without getting too much involved with this guy. Good stuff from Lewis.
Now he's, to use
he wants as many rounds in the bank early.
So Lewis is saying, OK, I've got over the nervous tension.
Just want his chin just a little bit lower, Reg. That's what I'd like to see. This is good stuff.
Now, I emphasise, this guy McCall's never been on the deck, never been stopped, never been on the deck. And he sparred endless rounds with Mike Tyson. And he's beaten him with the good punches, you see. This is where McCall becomes unpredictable. Once he started taking a bit of punishment. Just trying to laugh his way through taking those shots. He's obviously trying to say, he hasn't hurt me, but he has.
Well, Lewis is just annoying him again with the jab. But this is all right. They're point scoring. They're not wonderful punches, but they're scoring points and they're keeping him at arm's length. Lewis also has some room to get a right hand home as well. McCall's dangerous when he lunges at Lewis, but when he's standing off, Lewis could take the odd chance with a right hand. That's it.
Oh, double those up well there, Lewis. That's the first time he's actually timed a left hook close in.
Yeah, Lewis is thinking what he's doing here. This is real good performance. Took a punch, but come back with one, Reg. That's all right.
See, he's played his legs a bit there, McCall. Look. Oh, he's trying to do a dancing act now. I told you, there's nobody like this fella.
See, he's got the room to get that right hand home. McCall standing off. And standing off, he has no chance of winning this fight.
Oh, he's looking round for applause. Can you believe this? as if to say, I'm just ignoring this fella.
I think he's trying to draw mistakes. I know he has a bit of a character at times, but he's probably trying to draw mistakes from Lewis doing that. Lewis just kept his cool. Good accurate punching now in the third round from Lewis.
Poor old referee's having a bit of a job getting in there.
Not a lot of ambition shown by McCall in this round, Reg. Standing off all the way, looking for single shots, but taking loads.
Oh, look at this, look. Oh, dear, oh, dear. 10 seconds. Clear round for Lewis, of course. He's hardly landed a good blow here, McCall. Wrong corner, mate. Go the other way. That's it. He's having a walk around the ring now. McCall.
I think
really is dismissing
my point of view on this was that basically McCall was saying to him, I can take anything from you, even if I don't defend myself.
Twist, really, isn't he? Asking for more all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you see it. I'll let you see what happens.
But they are. Look, see, he doesn't even want to sit down now. It's just, I mean, there's no way that's going to make Lewis nervous in any shape or form.
Well, I don't know if Lewis's defence was better in that round, or is it just the fact that he wasn't.
Sorry, Jim.
He wasn't put under any pressure at all. But McCall really stood off for that complete round, gifted it to Lewis.
So Jim Watt's scorecard there puts Lewis a round up. What that walkabout was doing as we start the fourth, I don't know by McCall. The two trainers, very experienced men, George Fenton and a former champion, Greg Page, were just looking at each other.
See, look at the way McCall's feet are here, Reg. He can't produce power from that position. Lewis can take a chance and drop a right hand here because he can't summon power like that.
Jim, the referee's going to say something to this. He can't let it. He's got to make a fight of it.
Well, it's early days and the action's been good so far. But when McCall is not setting himself in, there's no powerful punches coming back. So Lewis here could really take a chance.
Getting booed by the crowd. I'm not surprised, McCall. I mean, there's no way he can rattle Lewis by doing this. He's not throwing punches. He's got to give the other guy all the hope in the world.
But Reg, this is as good as I've seen Lennox Lewis. I know McCall's giving up his own way at the moment, but Lewis looking concentration, perfect technique, everything right here.
He's almost saying, come on, you can't knock me out. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it, by McCall? Oh, beautiful punch, right above us there, Jim. If he'd have missed that, I think we'd have copped that, but we'd have tried.
But this guy really is tough, Reg. He is one of the game's real fighting men. I mean, that was a solid right hand, that one glanced, but the first one was a solid shot. Didn't trouble him in the slightest.
Real warrior, isn't he? I mean, he's... I told you, to him, he's taking time out, the referee, and he's saying, what is this? You had to warn him.
I mean, I don't know if McCall has lost interest, Reg, or if he's just got some crazy plan in his mind about slinging one big right hand again. But I cannot understand this. In the second round, he really fancied the job, had a good round, and now we're getting this. I don't understand it.
Well, I hope he's not getting messages from above, Jim, to go walkabout. That's not going to help him.
Well, we've certainly had 2 rounds of turn the other cheek, Reg, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely. This is unbelievable. Thought I'd seen it and done it enough in this business. I've seen anything like this before.
At least a couple of times he's tried to step forward. I don't know if he's going to change his mind. But no, we expect better than this from the Atomic Bull.
Again, the referee sort of showed out to him and with his arms, what are you doing? You must say you're going to do something.
See, when Lewis feints at him, he doesn't set himself to come back with a counter. He actually steps off. See that little feint, how everything he does is defensive now. Lewis shows him a feint, McCall just walks back from him. It's as though he has no intentions of launching any counter punches.
See, nobody can control this fella, Jim. I've never seen him do this in a fight before, I have to say. He didn't do it with Bruno.
Well, the referee can't stop it, Reg, because, he's not in any danger of being knocked out. He's not taking punches. Lewis is still fairly careful here. All he's doing is putting another little round in the bank. And nothing wrong with this. If he can win rounds, Reg, without using up too much steam and the fight does go late, then fine, do the right thing. Don't take chances against a danger man until you have to.
Well, not surprisingly, the heavy rollers and... going over to McCall saying, what are they going to say to him? And he's walking all around the ring. unbelievable. I've seen other fighters do it for maybe 10 seconds. George Benton is not amused.
Reggie, he has that face on as though he's ready to burst into tears. I mean, look at his face. It's as though he's disappointed himself and everybody else.
There it is. I said he'd do that on the way in. He's doing it now.
Normally he does this to pump himself up, but this looks like the opposite. It's as though he's lost interest. I don't know what's going on here. His corner trying to talk him into it.
Well, the referee's gone and have a long talk with him, and he walked over towards Lewis there. As we come out for this next round, it's just unbelievable stuff, this.
Well, again, he's made a little motion as though he wants to come forward, Reg. I don't know if he does. But we've seen that strange face he pulls, and he uses that face to pump himself up before fights. I hope that's the case here. But still good, careful boxing from Lewis. No mistakes, good concentration. Just
another look at Jim's scorecard in the middle of this. Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's unbelievable. Oh, that
lovely punch.
Oh, that will stop him larking about, that right-hand punch. And again, he's actually challenging him to knock him out, Jim. That's what he's doing.
He's looking away from Lewis.
Crazy as a coot, this is.
Not even looking at the punches coming there. But Lewis, don't run into anything. It looks as though he's going to stop it. He stopped the fight. That's a disqualification, Reg.
Yeah,
it has to be a disqualification.
I hope it is a disqualification. They're
else.
diving in above us now. And if I suddenly disappear, because somebody's boot has just landed on my head, this is unbelievable. I wonder if we can get Mills Lane to shout down to us here if he's disqualified him or just stopped it because the fellow refusing to fight.
Well, Reg, either he stops it because he's taken too many punches without reply, or he stops it because he's not taking part, and that has to be a disqualification.
Mills Lane, I guess, knew that he was having a mental breakdown or something in there and stopped it. Fair enough.
To call a halt to this bout. It comes as Oliver McCall refuses to defend himself.
So Lennox Lewis, the Canadian, first of all he took the championship out of the dustbin off of Riddick Bowe, and now he picks one up from a disqualification from a man that didn't fight back. Well done, Canada.
I've waited so long for this guy to come out and give us a performance worthy of his talent. He looked as though he was about to do that. The good round that McCall had the second round, he wasn't phased. He come back with a better round the next round himself. Everything he was doing was to a perfect plan. He was executing that plan perfectly. And poor guy, his big night, he's been totally wasted.
Well, I think the main thing is, I went out there and just asserted myself. I didn't allow him to come in too much. I think he found it difficult to get through my jab. I was just playing with him with my jab, just popping it out, waiting for him to make a move. And, when he started walking away, I thought it was a joke at first. I thought he was trying to nail me into something. But then, he kept on going. So I just picked up the pace and just continued.
Do you think that his idea was to come out, try to land one more big right on you and end it? Otherwise, he really didn't want to fight?
Well, the first time we met, I realized that it was a lucky punch, and I told the world that it was a lucky punch because he doesn't have enough skill that can contend with me. The main thing, I just went out there and just, put my jab out, and he couldn't really contend with that, and, he basically gave up.
Do you think he was having some kind of a breakdown in the ring?
I don't know. I wore these white trunks for a reason, but,
What was the reason?
Oh, just to look good and have a mental kind of stress on him. Seeing me come out as a gladiator in some sense.
What do you want to do next?
Next, I want to get in the ring as soon as possible and just continue the winning success that I'm having.
Thank you very much, Lennox Lewis. And now I'm with Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel, first I have to ask you about Oliver McCall, since you trained him for the last fight. Tell us what you thought happened.
I think he almost got like a miniature breakdown emotionally. He was very frustrated. I think the size of Lennox totally had him in awe, and after trying to get in, Lennox did what we told him. It was not a hard jab, it was just a continual, like a ranger jab to just keep him at a distance and keep him frustrated. We figured about 7 or 8 rounds we would knock him out, but he just got totally frustrated because he could not effectively get in. And I think it just got to a point, being that he's such a high, strong, emotional guy, that he just said, forget it.
Did he, in some sense, revert to being a sparring partner after that?
I think to a certain degree he did resemble a lot of the sparring partners that we worked with. And we had watched a lot of George Foreman's films, believe it or not, and we went back to just use that. We call this all the time steadily filling him with the left hand and being ready to take a step back with your right foot as soon as he comes forward. And it worked. And mentally, it just broke him down. He was so, when a guy is really charged up and wired up the way that he is, it's very easy to confuse him.
Well, mission accomplished. It may not have been how Lewis would have wished it in the ideal world, but it doesn't really count. All that he cares about is he's once more owner of the championship belt. Lewis reunited then with a prized possession, and with this victory, so many possibilities are now opening up to him once more. But the arguments after an extraordinary fight were only just beginning, as we will see after the break. So Lennox Lewis reunited with the WBC World Heavyweight title, but his victory will also be remembered for the way Oliver McCall's problems followed him into the ring. The arguments raged in Las Vegas much longer than the fight itself. Adam Smith reporting.
Despite Lewis regaining his title, the aftermath focused on McCall, and the question on everybody's mind, why did he just give up?
You know, when the man asked him, did he want to continue, at first he said no, then he said yes, you know. But really, he didn't know what the hell he wanted to do himself because he was confused, you know. He was in a state of confusion.
But there were harsher words too by those determined to make an example out of McCall.
He was not physically or emotionally ready to fight tonight. We hope Oliver McCall gets his life in order. We hope he becomes a good person in life. And if tonight's event helps that, we hope it works out in the best for Oliver McCall.
The commission is ordering the purse withheld. He will not be paid. We'll have a full commission hearing. We'll let him have his day in court, but he will not get paid for not honestly competing tonight.
To many, it looked as though Oliver McCall had been spaced out in the fight. Had he been taking drugs again?
There was no drugs whatsoever with Oliver McCall. We tested him 2 days before the fight and right after, and there's no drug-related incident, absolutely.
So all eyes turned to the instigator himself, who reacted strongly against claims he didn't try.
I was not happy that the fight was stopped. I wanted the fight to continue. Because as the fight would have continued, my anger would have brewed up to where I would have went and knocked Lennox out.
This may be hard to understand, but according to the Atomic Bull, he was attempting the same strategy as his hero, Muhammad Ali.
When he fought George Foreman, then he played a rope-a-dope. Then he just go off in his shell and say, well, I'm going to let George is a heavy puncher. I'm going to let him punch himself out, and then I'm going to come on and get him. That was the same type of thing that I wanted to do with Lennox Lewis.
Meanwhile, the fans have welcomed Lewis home as the new WBC champion celebrates winning back his belt. But with so many questions still unanswered, nobody's quite sure what will happen after the strangest night in heavyweight boxing. Will Lewis now defend against WBO champion Henry Akinwande, or will McCall get a rematch?
I don't think the WBC is happy with that either. They said he's going to have two fights just to check him out and see if he can really deal with the 2 fights before coming and stepping back in the ring with me. And even though if he does, he still won't have no chance.
And further to those suggestions of a rematch, the British Boxing Board of Control Secretary John Morris has written a letter to the WBC in Mexico where he says any suggestion of a rematch at this time damages the sport greatly. It looks like it will be Akinwande next for Lennox Lewis within 90 days. As for Oliver McCall's future, well, that is certainly up in the air. Next up, to the London Arena, and Saturday night, 4 world title fights on the Night of Champions, featuring some of the biggest stars in boxing on this side of the Atlantic. And for one man, a dream opportunity. Mickey Cantwell's chance to fight for the WBO World Light Flyweight title.
You will fall before him. You will listen to what he has to say. they're speaking. Listen, America, you're too late. He's already here. He is here.
Hey, Dumbo! Nah. Nah.
Chris.
Classic over, left it in there.
Now to the action on the night of the champions at the London Arena. A 12,500 sellout crowd and all the frantic excitement of big fight night. At the top of the bill, Prince Nassim Hamed. He comes later on. And most of the main men well used to such large-scale occasions. But for Mickey Cantwell, it was all rather new. And at the age of 33, an unexpected first world title opportunity here for Cantwell. A local boy from Bexley Heath, not too far from the London Arena, and he could afford to stay at home in the build-up to the fight, making his way to the arena just a couple of hours before the scheduled start of his own fight. It's just a short trip for Cantwell, but no disguising that it's been an incredibly hard couple of years for Cantwell and his family. Serious financial difficulties in the past couple of years. At one stage, the family home was repossessed, and illness and injury have slowed down his progress in the ring. But at last, his chance to prove that he belongs on the world stage. A tall order, though, against him, the champion, Baby Jake Matlala of South Africa. Admittedly, the smallest world champion at only 4'10", but the record says one of the best. Glenn McCrory and Ian Darke.
4'10".
Mickey Cantwell reaching out for what would be for him an absolutely sensational victory.
Well, he's got the height and the reach advantage. He's got to use his boxing ability. He was a good amateur, Mickey Cantwell. He's got to box well tonight. Lots of movement. Use good use of the jab.
Cantwell 2 times ABA champion, and these are the tactics he'll try to use. Light on his feet there in reverse gear, gliding away from the punches, scoring with his own jab and then getting away again. He's got to box to a battle plan. They've worked and they've worked and they've worked on it in that Peacock gym. Can they make it work in the fight? Matlala has seen so much before, and in truth, he's beaten fighters with a much richer pedigree than Mickey Cantwell. There was one home-based fighter, though, who beat Matlala, and that was Dave McCauley, who stopped him in 10 rounds in Belfast back in 1991. That was the first time we kind of bumped into Matlala, who keeps coming back since and beating our fighters. He says this is his second home with a big, toothy smile. Not a bad start by Cantwell, though, Glenn.
Yes, well, that's what he's got to do. Lots of movement. Just keep out of range. Just move in, use the jab, and just get away again. And you're not trying any heroics. Just good use of the jab from outside.
Nice work behind that jab by Cantwell. Occasionally just whipping in a right hand as well. You must hope he can do this, and that somehow Matlala might have just slipped back a little bit at the age of 35. They're both really pushing on in years for one of the lowest divisions. There is strawweight beneath this, the weight at which the great Ricardo Lopez is a champion. These men built like little flat race jockeys. And lighter than quite a few of them as well, I shouldn't wager. Is there a little bit of damage by the left eye of Cantwell? Just looking, it may have been an illusion under the lights. Done very, very well in the opening round. I think Cantwell won that round. Here's round 3. The red trunks of the WBO light flyweight champion, baby Jake Matt Lally. He's not such a baby now at 35, is he? But it's a good name. And Mickey Cantwell in the blue.
I don't know if that was his age or his size. He's not a big guy, is he?
Starting to find Cantwell with ominous regularity.
This Cantwell just falling short with the jab. When he does that, Matt Lawler will just carry on walking forward. Cantwell has to land with a solid jab to keep Matt Lawler at bay.
Cantwell turned professional late. His biggest fight so far has been a European Championship fight against the good fighter from Italy, Luigi Camputaro, and he lost a points decision that night. Close-ish points decision, but he lost it all right, and Camputaro was stopped in 7 rounds by Matt Lawler.
Those punches on the counter there from Cantwell. But Matt Lawler certainly lifting the pace a little more, just finding his rhythm better.
More movement from Cantwell, though, in this round. I'm sure Jimmy Tibbs was stressing that again to him between the rounds. Remember what we worked on. What Cantwell needs here, if he's going to pull off a huge shock, is bags and bags of movement and 12 rounds of concentration. And well, he needs the old ice running through his veins, doesn't he, to use the old cliche?
Yes, he's got to be very sharp, and he can't afford to lose concentration.
It's a pretty good effort from him early on here, though, I think, Cantwell. Slightly distressed about something for a moment there, just shooting glances at the referee about what I'm not sure. Don't think his gum shield came out, has it? It's got a bit of damage by the left cheekbone. Quite a lot of blood coming from that. It won't run into the eye. And he's got him again with the right hand right on the cut, too. It would be absolutely terrible for Mickey Cantwell if he was to be stopped on a cut. Got a bit of work to do. It looks to be... Now, is there some damage on the eyelid as well? I'm just wondering. I didn't think there was until I saw Jimmy Tibbs get the swab out.
Yes, there could be a couple of cuts there. Certainly the cheekbones landed. And there's the stats. With Cantwell throwing a lot more, but landing less. Matt Lawler just getting into gear now.
Now, the referee's being called over to look at the cut. And Jimmy Tibbs is saying it's a bad cut. Is this where the cut happened?
Definite clash of heads, yeah.
There's a lot of confusion. They want a bit more of a timeout. I'll tell you what, they've managed to buy some time for Mickey Cantwell. This gap's gone on now for about 75 seconds. Matt Lawler is wondering what's going on. So are we, rather. Jimmy Tibbs is having a big argument with Roberto Ramirez, the referee. He's saying, look, get out of the ring if you want your fighter to continue in this fight. But do they? Seventh round for the WBO Light Flyweight Championship. Against all predictions and odds, Mickey Cantwell, a man who lives in a rented council house in Bexley Heath, having been turfed out of his home for falling behind with the mortgage, is in there with a squeak at the moment. There's not a lot in this, I wouldn't think, at this stage.
No, I think it's still very close. Neither man's really stamped his authority on the fight yet.
Cantwell continuing to throw plenty of leather. Heads coming a bit close together there. He looks more relaxed to me, Cantwell, now. He looks as if he's thinking, well, there wasn't quite so much to worry about after all. I'm doing OK here.
That's right. It was obviously in his mind a big step up in class, this. And I think now he's just realising, hold on, it's just a man in there. You know, I'm doing well here, and he's growing in confidence.
Hit the gloves, those shots from Matt Lala. Walks right onto a right hand too, the champion there. There's a good body shot, so so 3 punches went in unanswered from the South African. He mustn't get careless, Cantwell.
It's a nice combination from Matt Lala. That's what he's good at. When he gets the punches flowing, he's really good. He hasn't really getting into his rhythm yet, primarily due to the good boxing from Mickey Cantwell.
It's got to be hit and run from Cantwell. He doesn't want to be standing there in front of Matt Lala, who goes through a strange kind of routine, which I can't really begin to describe. But you saw it. What did that mean? Oh, left hand was a good one. Cantwell was hurt a bit by that, I think. Left hook, wants to hold on. Good shot. Cantwell is certainly matching Matt Lala and sometimes bettering his work rate, but a better quality of shot from the champion.
Matt Lala's getting through a solid of punches in this round, and Cantwell not moving as much and being caught on the ropes here.
Needs to get out of the phone booth. Cantwell just being dragged into a toe-to-toe exchange. Now, that's not what he needs to do strategically. Easy for us to say, sitting on the safe side of the ropes. Blue shorts, Mickey Cantwell, officially boxing out of Eltham in southeast London. Getting his biggest ever pay night by some way here. But he told me this week, to be honest with you, I'd have fought for nothing to get this chance. Don't tell the promoters that.
I was just going to say, don't shout that out too loud.
Never tell a promoter that.
Did appear in Snatch as well. I think it's Snatch. Whether that or Long Stop, one of them.
One of those fights maybe, Glenn, where there's no telling quite how the judges might be seeing things.
Good punches there from Matt Lala, just forcing Cantwell back. And again, the left hook was a good one.
He's always seemed to have the heavier weaponry. It's almost as if Mickey Cantwell is saying to him, look, I can take these shots and I can come back with volleys and clusters of my own. It's almost like he's refusing to be dominated, isn't it?
Yes, he comes straight back with punches, and I think that will attract the judges' eyes. But this is really a spirited performance from Mickey Cantwell.
It's easily the biggest performance and best performance of his career, this, Cantwell. He's been so busy. This is just the phase where Matt Lala might be looking to wear him down and stop him, but Cantwell is still full of defiance. Oh, big right hand up through there, though. Cantwell will have felt the weight of that one. Good chin or no.
Yes, he puts his punches together well, Matt Lala. Cantwell has to be a little more elusive, maybe use the footwork a little more.
Just wonder whether Matt Lala's beginning to think, hang on a minute, I'm away from home here. I wonder what the scorecards are saying. shouldn't come into play, but frankly, it often does.
And we're trying to get that jab and straight punches going, but Matt Lawler took them on the gloves.
A lot of Cantwell's work has been by way of a kind of range-finding, light-looking jab, hasn't it?
Yes, they've landed on around the gloves, and it's really how the judge is going to score these rounds. Some of them have been very close. That's how I've got Matt Lawler just 2 points ahead.
You haven't totted mine up, but I've got it about like that too. Matt Lawler, I would think, is in front. Two American judges, I think they would probably be going for Matt Lawler's walk forward, pressure and aggression too.
Again, rolling forward, letting the punches go and having the success there, Matt Lawler.
He's up the tempo a bit, Matt Lawler here. Starting to let some big shots flow. Matt Lawler. He's had to take a lot of solid shots to the head. And that cut, which looked at one stage as if it might threaten Cantwell going on in the fight at the end of the third round, has held up very well. Good job by the corner on that. But he's beginning to ship an ominous number of punches in this round, Cantwell. Matt Lawler is finishing very, very strongly.
This Cantwell finding it very difficult to keep Matt Lawler off now. Matt Lawler really in his rhythm, letting the punches go with both hands.
Well, I really do hope that Cantwell does get to hear the final bell here. He deserves that for this effort. Second defense in this reign for Baby Jake. He's also been a world champion at flyweight, 8 stone.
And this is a good round for Matt Lawler. He's pushed forward throughout and he's landed with some good punches.
Well, look at that. That was a remarkable effort from Matt Lawler, looking to throw a punch with his back to Cantwell over his shoulder. I've seen everything now. That's a big round for Matt Lawler, that one. Matt Lawler is the man in control here. Last round, they touched gloves. Been a good little contest. The WBO Light Flyweight Championship of the World, and going into this round, I had Matt Lawler 3 ahead. If that's right, Cantwell, of course, needs a stoppage or knockout. He's only produced 2 stoppages or knockouts in his whole career so far.
And this has been a good fight, and I really think Cantwell has fought above himself here. He's tried throughout to get these punches off, but he's up against a very tough opponent in Baby Jake Matt Lawler, very experienced. It's often been difficult for Cantwell punching down so low.
Well, there's many, many friends in boxing, and his family can be proud of what Mickey Cantwell has done in this ring tonight. He's proved that he can live at this level. He's given Matt Lawler plenty to think about. There we go again. It's a kind of, I don't know, it's like a sort of war dance or something, doesn't it?
Yes, it's probably a little part of the tribal dance. But he's really rolling forward now, Matt Lawler. Cantwell's got to keep the punches shooting out.
Still looks looks fairly light on his feet, though, Cantwell. He's never looked laboured in his movements. He's taken quite a few, too.
Well, he said he would be happy if he just give it his all in this fight, and he's certainly done that.
Looking marked up around the face now. Cantwell. Matt Lala's pulled away again in the last couple of rounds, no doubt about that. If there was any doubt about which way it was going, I don't think there can be too much now. Magnificent effort.
He really is a character, isn't he?
It's superb.
And he's a lovely, friendly, smiling little man.
Yeah, he really is.
But credit to Cantwell, he's still going to be throwing punches at the final bell.
20 seconds remaining. Let's hope Cantwell can get through this. He needs to hold on, buy a bit of time. Swelling by the eyes, some cuts as well. And now 10 seconds remaining. Matt Lala, almost Sugar Ray Leonard style. Ooh, big right hand. Then it hurt Cantwell a bit, but the final bell's going to come any moment now. There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a split decision. Here are the score
Goodness
totals.
me.
Judge at ringside, Jose Torres, scores about 116 to 112 in favor of baby Jake Matlala. Judge at ringside, Larry Hazard Jr. scores about 115 to 113 in favor of Mickey Cantwell. Judge at ringside, Manuel Palomo scores about 116 to 112 in favor of the winner and still champion, baby Jake Matlala.
Well, here he is, Mickey Cantwell, after that tremendous effort. Now, a split decision, Mickey. What did you think? Did you think you won that?
I think I might have nicked it, yeah. You know, maybe last couple of rounds could have done it a bit more. But, yeah, we thought we might have nicked it, yeah.
What did you think, Jimmy Tibbs, the trainer?
I thought he won the fight. On the last 2 rounds, he was a little bit getting caught with a few shots, but the first, from third round onwards, it was all Mickey Campbell. He was getting the 1 big uns in, but he was getting the 2s and 3s in at the time.
It really was a fantastic performance. You'd obviously worked to a game plan and kept to it and never allowed yourself to get dominated, even when he started to let those big headshots go.
That's all down to Jimmy Tibbs. He's been great to me in the gym the last 7 weeks. But, yeah, we had a game plan. I listened to Jimmy all through the fight. I just wish I could have picked up the last 2 rounds for him. But that's the way it goes, unfortunately, isn't it?
What do you think you've proved tonight? Because a lot of people wrote you off in the build-up to this.
I've proved I'm a world-class fighter like flyweight. You know, I'm not a flyweight. I think we can do it again, you know. Let's do it again.
You had an awful lot of support. I mean, a lot of people had read about your story, about how, you know, you'd had the hard times and your house repossessed, and you'd come back from all that. A lot of them stay behind to root for you. How much did that mean to you in there?
My fans are fantastic. Look, the little people. I've been only dating with cars out, and I just wish I could have done it for them, really.
Another world title opportunity. Deserves that, doesn't he, Jimmy?
I think Frank sorted something out for him after that performance.
I think even in defeat, you were a winner tonight. Well done, Mickey.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Excellent fight. Let's hope Cantwell can profit from his exceptional courage by going on to compete again at world level. Now, next up from the London Arena, one of the glamour divisions, the super middleweights, and one of the glamour boys, Robin Reid, in his first defence of a world title. Prince Nassim Hamed coming later on. Robin Reid created a major shock late last year when he went to Italy to win the WBC World Super Middleweight Championship. Reid admits he is still inexperienced, so for him it's a case of learning as he goes in world class. Now, he made the first defence of his world crown at the London Arena this weekend against the South African Giovanni Pretorius. Reid has the looks and the personality to become a major earner in boxing, but he knows as well as anybody else that it all depends on his ability to build his reputation in the ring. It's all there for him, but it's a simple case of no time for a slip-up here. Glenn McCrory and Ian Darke once more.
Well, I tell you, Robin Reid has never had a build-up like this. The fighter with the film star looks brings the WBC title home from Italy for his first defense. He really does look extremely hyped up.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you. We welcome you to the London Arena for the first of our 4 World Championship boxing matches coming away tonight. Of course, it's all brought to you by Frank Warren's Sports Network in association with Don King Productions and sponsored by Adidas, ART, and The Sun. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council. The president is Jose Sulaiman. Co-supervisors at ringside, John Morris and Peter Nagatani. Along with the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge is John Clifford. Introducing to you our judges scoring this bout from ringside, we have Pacamile Jacobs, John Keane, and Helacio Perez. Introducing to you our referee in charge of this bout, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions. Working in this his 72nd world title fight, Lou Filippo. All right, fans, here we go with the WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing blue and white trunks, and joining us from Johannesburg, South Africa. He weighed in at 11 stone, 12 pounds, or already 166 US pounds. His record includes 22 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 19 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight making the first attempt at a world title, please welcome the challenger, Giovanni No Mercy Pretorius. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with blue trim, originally from Runcorn in the north of England, now fighting out of Manchester. He weighed in 11 stone, 12 and a half pounds, or 167 and 1/2 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, with a record of 22 wins, no losses, 1 draw, he has 17 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight making the first defense of his title, here is the undefeated WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the world, known as the Grim Reaper, Robin Reid. Once again, our referee in charge, Lou Filippo, now to give instructions.
Okay, Giovanni, Reid, you both had your instructions. Give me a good fight. Shake hands, back.
Well, the long week, a week of waiting is almost over. Fantastic atmosphere in here now. All the seats are full. 12,500. The clergyman's son from South Africa, Giovanni Pretorius, who's won his last 13 fights by stoppage, challenging Britain's Robin Reid, who'll be in the solid white trunks on that far side. Away we go, 12 rounds for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship. And Reid gets him with a heavy right hand early on. He'll be determined to make Pretorius feel the weight of punch of a full-blown super middleweight.
Pretorius is the sort of fighter who'll be right there for Reid. Already
He's rocked him with the right hand. Pretorius is in trouble early on. Reid is going here for the quick finish. Big left hook. Oh, he's got him all over the place. Pretorius is badly dazed. Another uppercut. And again, he's wobbled. He might not get through this first round. I don't know how he stayed on his feet. And the referee is taking a very close look at him already, Giovanni Pretorius. Well, it's a sensationally aggressive start from Robin Reid. And he's got him again with the left and the right. You just can't take these punches from a big 12-stone man. First time he's been in this league, and Reid is letting him know all about it and how. And Pretorius at last comes forward himself and starts to try bravely to force Reid back.
A terrific start from Reid, and I don't know how Pretorius has took those punches, some solid punches.
Another one's got him, this time to the body. Pretorius at last goes down. Counts at 8, he's up at 8, very unsteady on his legs. And there's a long time still left in this round. Less than even money that Pretorius gets through this, I think. Very accurate. And a real devil about his work here, Robin Reid. Again, some body punches. He's really setting himself for these to get maximum power, and Pretorius's defense is extremely leaky.
But Pretorius is showing tremendous courage, but he's really taken too many punches here.
Well, Reid is aiming to prove here that when he won the world title in Italy against Nardiello, it was no fluke. The only danger for Reid is that he doesn't get careless about this man who proved he is a puncher one weight down at middleweight.
Well, already Pretorius has shown that he's a hard guy who's come to fight. He's took some terrific blows from Reid, and he's still pushing forward.
And he lands a very good left hand there, and I think Reid was hurt by that. Well, what an opening round. What a start to the night of World Championship boxing at the London Arena this is. Only Pretorius knows how he got through that. But Reid himself, in fairness to the South African, had to take some heavy shots. Here's the knockdown, Glenn.
Yes, Reid just started so well. He landed with a good left hook there. You see, just the legs really just almost a bit disobeyed him. He followed up again with very strong punches.
Well, you remember last night we had a drink with one of Robin Reid's closest friends, and he told us he might try to do something like that in the opening round, didn't he?
Yes, he said that Reid was very up for this fight. He thinks he's got a lot of doubters, and he wants to prove all these people wrong, that he is for real.
Well, has Pretorius got over the effects of that first round, which was a torrid one for him, his first ever world title fight? The danger, of course, for Robin Reid is that he punches himself out. I wonder if he just might settle down to his boxing a wee bit more here. Again, a big left hook. There's no defense there at times from Pretorius. And he is heavy-handed, Reid.
Pretorius is a real attacking fighter. Very little defense, but just keeps on coming forward.
Yes, he just walks in, throwing leather usually, Pretorius. Quieter second round, but it almost had to be after that first.
He really exerted an awful lot of energy in that first round. He really had his mind set on that first round stoppage. He's just slowed his work up, just trying to regroup a little bit and have a little think of what he's got to do now.
Good, solid jabs by Reid. Circling around the ring, trying to find angles for his punches, but Pretorius, in his own, well, it's not the most sophisticated of styles, but it's worked for him this far in his career. It would be amazing if he could turn this around after what happened in the opening 2 minutes.
Yes, it really would. There didn't look to be any way he was going to get through that round. He was badly hurt on a few occasions, but he come back at the end of the first round quite well and landed a good punch, which I think hurt Reid. And Reid just hasn't done very little very much in this round.
Certainly been no suggestion thus far in Reid's career that he's got a dodgy chin or anything like that. Good counter off the ropes from Reid with those left hooks. some of these punches by Pretorius, or a lot of them, not too accurate. And it's Pretorius who's hurt again. Again, the legs went.
Yes, again, when they're in close, you get the feeling that the extra strength is Reid's. He's got the extra firepower up close.
It's worth remembering that Pretorius had never, ever before weighed more than 11 stone 4.5 for a fight, and here he is in the 12 stone division. You have to underline that twice when you are witnessing the action here, because Reid just has so much more firepower. It looks that way anyway, doesn't it?
Yes, we saw at the end of the round when Pretorius had Reid on the ropes. He was trying to match him for strength, and again, Reid come out the boss. He's got that extra advantage. He's got the extra firepower. And I think if Reid just bides his time, just looks for the opening, you'll see that he'll land a good punch.
Much bigger success rate for Reid. A huge margin, 61 to 29%. Better economy. Third round. Britain's Robin Reid in the white trunks, the stripes of the South African Giovanni Pretorius. His trainer Nick Durand has been telling me all week that Pretorius had not come over here to risk his middleweight world ranking without going back with the super middleweight belt. Well, we'll see. He's looking a little bit reddened and marked up around the face. Pretorius, just hints of swelling, no cuts. Still coming forward and catching Reid.
Pretorius is a real rugged fighter, and I think he's going to test Reid's character a little bit with these pushes forward.
Oh, right hand was the best shot in that from Reid. A lot of leather from Pretorius, but he's getting caught by heavy counters.
There's a good right hand in there as well from Reid. I think Reid can just afford to wait for Pretorius coming in and just look to catch him amongst Pretorius's prey with his stronger punch.
Oh, again, a left hand glancing blow, no more from Robin Reid. The only blot on Reid's record, a draw against Danny Juma. He's blown hot and cold on the build-up before he became a world championship fighter, Reid. A lot of people thought he wasn't ready to be pitched in at this kind of level, but he proved he was against Nardiello. Now he has to try and stay there. It's often the way for a fellow who's been fighting a weight or two down, when he comes up against the full-blown version, that his punches kind of bounce off a bit.
Yes, it makes such a difference, that extra little bit of weight. When you absorb punches and also when you deliver them, it does make a difference.
Reid covering up well. Just sheer pressure fighting from Pretorius. Good body shots from him there. He's just hoping that this incessant pressure and the continual throwing of the leather will somehow wear down Robin Reid, who's got blood coming from his nose now. Reid with blood from the nose. Nothing much.
Well, this is where Reid's got to stamp his authority again on this fight, because Pretorius will just be starting to get a little more confidence, just starting to roll forward a little bit more and land with his own punches.
Has to be said, the actions evened out a bit after that explosive start from Reid.
Yes, Pretorius is coming forward more and more. He's landing more shots.
Reid did find one particularly good punch in this round there.
Yes, he's still getting through with a cleaner, solider work. You see a lot of Pretorius's punches. He's rolling forward, but see Reid covering up. Very few there connected. Reid got through with a one good one at the end, and I think really that's, so far the last couple of rounds, that's pretty much been the tide. Pretorius keep coming forward. He's very strong. He's going to test the character of Reid, but Reid's got to land them heavy shots.
Giovanni Pretorius, who, like Robin Reid, boxed in the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, but he was beaten in his first bout. Reid won an Olympic Games bronze medal, a very rare Olympic medal for Britain in amateur boxing these days. Reid with his back to you in the white trunks with the stripe down the side, the black and white striped shorts of the challenger, Giovanni Pretorius. Pretorius has done a lot of sparring with Sugar Boy Malinga, the man who beat Nigel Benn a year ago to win this very title. And he's also been working with cruiserweights, the camp tell me, so he should be used to taking the extra power, but it's one thing doing it in the gym and another thing doing it in the ring.
Pretorius certainly fighting true to form. They said he was going to come forward, he was all action, he was really going to be in Reid's face, and he's really living up to that.
Well, toe-to-toe. Crowd are enjoying this one. He's a very, very strong, brave man, this Pretorius. And is he just starting, you wonder, to get a foothold in this fight? Reid being forced backwards, covering up quite well. But there's absolutely no doubt Pretorius is well and truly over the opening phase of this fight when he was very, very nearly stopped within a matter of a couple of minutes. Gum shield has come out for Reid. That's why we have an interruption. And there was a real attempted haymaker, that from Pretorius, who manages a wry smile. Reid starting to look a bit uncomfortable to you here,
He's just
Glenn?
starting to look a little bit tired. He's just starting to get hit with more shots. And this is a more confident round for Pretorius, who's starting to land and certainly having the better of this round.
Oh, good countering right from Reid. The left hook, I think, hit the gloves. But the South Africans, non-stop pressure, will be certainly taking the eye of the judges. Not everything's landing, not by a long chalk, but just does not stop throwing them, does he?
They're coming from all angles all the time. A lot of punches going in there. He's obviously trained very, very hard for this fight.
Good uppercut, that one from Pretorius. Class punch.
More and more Pretorius punches are getting through.
Reid has to step this up a bit, because at the moment, the South African is stealing the play away from him. This has turned around pretty dramatically from round one. You can feel that the crowd sense that as well. That was Pretorius's round.
Pretorius really coming in the fight now. This was his round. The first round I give him winning. He just outworked Reid. I mean, I don't know where he's got it from. He took a terrible beating in the first round, but he's come on so strong. He's thrown so many punches, and you just get the feeling he's starting to get to Reid a little.
Well, I think this has really evened up now. This is the fifth. The biggest factor at the moment is the work rate of Pretorius. He wants this very, very badly indeed.
And that's how I have it. Reid still a good points lead because of his very good start. But Pretorius, I think the important story, Pretorius just starting to come back into the fight with constant work.
Oh, right hand! That's got Pretorius down. He fell out towards the cameraman on the far side. He'll have to take a mandatory 8 count. That's what Robin Reid needed. Exactly what he needed. Just at a point when the South African was threatening to maybe take control, and Reid begins to tee off on him, and this is a rewind of round one. Good body shot again by Reid. Heads coming dangerously close together there. That could easily have opened up a cut in different circumstances.
Reid's landed with that good punch, but he has to up his work rate. He has to keep the pressure on Pretorius.
He's still not recovered from that, I don't think, Pretorius. The legs have gone unsteady again for the South African, who's been on the floor twice. Suddenly looks more tentative. Pretorius again, suddenly he felt how hard Reid can hit, as Nardiello did that night in Milan. It's all right, people saying, well, Nardiello's a bit of a quitter and a faint heart anyway. Robin Reid had to make him quit that night, and he found the punches to do it. Just looks a bit of an injury around the right eye of Pretorius. Not a cut, but starting to swell up a bit and look red.
You've got to admire Pretorius' perseverance. He's such a strong character. He's still trying to come forward, even though he's took very hard punches.
Still trying to tee off. He's hoping that one of those haymakers that have been taking out the light middleweights and middleweights he's been facing will work here for him. He laid Birmingham's Antonio Fernandez cold for 8 minutes when he fought him.
Yes, he has been known as quite a big puncher. Nothing's really hurt Reid yet, but he is throwing a lot of shots.
Bit of damage by the right eye for Pretorius. Here's the knockdown again, Glenn.
Yes, Reid's just the overhand right. He's a little off balance there, and he just sort of fell straight forward through the ropes. He got up very quickly, looked over his corner. He didn't look unduly hurt. We see it there from another angle. He just was starting to turn away, and Reid caught him on the side of the head and just went over, a little off balance there. You see, mostly on the top of the shoulder, really. I don't think it was a real hurtful blow.
But that will count, I'm sure, as a 10-8 round for Robin Reid. 2-point margin. The rounds are normally scored 10-9. Punches landed so far. Well, Pretorius has landed more, according to the computer. But there's no doubt about one thing. Reid's landed the more effective punches. Just going southpaw for a moment, Reid.
Okay, stop right there.
Still fighting out the southpaw stance. Trying to confuse Pretorius. He did this, didn't he, for a while against Nardiello.
All right, stop, don't punch. Let's break out of there.
Left hand. Just caught Pretorius off balance more than anything.
Yes, Pretorius does have bad balance. He's often wrong-footed, and his feet are very flat, and his balance is bad.
No count. Just counted as a slip, that. Reid there was waving Pretorius into him. He's looking to counter him. Looks a bit tired and laboured himself, though, doesn't he, Reid, now?
He does. He's never gone beyond 8 rounds. So, you know, you could often question, you know, his fitness, and certainly a fight like this will test his character.
Less coming from Pretorius now, and some of his punches just looking as if they've got a bit of an arm nature about them. All the time he's gripping the canvas with his toes, Reid, trying to set himself, make his extra strength and power count.
Okay, hold it right. Hold it.
But he's finding this South African a handful. We kind of thought he might.
Well, we thought with the clash of styles this would be a good fight, and it's certainly living up to that.
Good headshots from Reid. Two of them, and then a body punch as well. You do wonder a little bit about Reid's stamina. He seems to be breathing a little heavy. As Glenn was telling you, he's never been beyond 8 rounds, but then Pretorius has never been beyond 7. So we don't know really about him either in that department.
Let that neck go.
Seconds out, round 7.
Left hand, and that again just bent the knees of Pretorius.
This on numerous occasions, Pretorius' legs have looked unsteady. Again, he falls over, they're just lunging in. Very bad balance, Pretorius.
You just wonder whether Pretorius's tank is starting to run dry a bit. He's looking as if he's just treading treacle at times, Pretorius. He's taken a lot of heavy shots, and they must take their toll, no matter how game and spirited a fighter is, no matter how much character he's got. Again, a good body shot, well picked, that one by Reid. Maybe a comparatively inexperienced as a pro, Robin Reid, but as an amateur he travelled around, fought a lot of top men, and you don't win an Olympic medal for nothing. Switches southpaw again to try and find different angles for the shots. Much less coming from the South African now. Has his resistance been broken, do you think, Glenn?
Well, I think both these fighters are getting tired. It's the fight's moving on. They've thrown an awful lot of punches. It's been a very, very busy fight. Pretorius has took an awful lot, and you just feel, you know, he's got to start and wilt just that little. Reid needs to keep picking up the pace, but he himself looks quite tired.
Left hook hit the gloves, the first one, but the second one landed. Reid's own gloves falling down by his side. A shine of tiredness, but a countering right hand might conclude the argument here. That may be it in round 7. No way on for the South African. Robin Reid, in his first defence, retains the WBC Super Middleweight Championship with a cracking right hand.
Pretorius was good to his word. He came here and gave a terrific fight, really battled on. He was very, very brave. Here we can see the finish. Pretorius just looking a little unsteady, jabs the head back, Reid just waits, and then that countering right hook. Beautiful punch, really well timed. And there was no way Pretorius was going to get it from that.
It was the third knockdown of the contest. One in the first round, one in the 5th, the final one in the 7th. After 2 minutes and 10 seconds, to be exact, of the 7th. Good performance by Reid.
Very good performance. I think Pretorius did himself proud. He really came here and worked very hard. He took tremendous shots in the first round, and really, you know, he did not want to lose his unbeaten record. He came to fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a time of 2 minutes, 10 seconds of round number 7. Our referee in charge, Lou Filippo, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and still the WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the world, the Grim Reaper, Robin Reid.
Well, here is Robin Reid, Still the WBC super middleweight champion, just getting mopped up here. Robin, that was a heck of a right-hand punch you found to finish the argument in the 7th round there.
Yeah, it was a tough fight. We knew it was going to be tough. I let him know I was there in the 1st round. I got him with some big punches. I knew that, like, you know, after a bit of time, I'd wear him down. And the knockout would come, and there it was at the end, the knockout. I mean, we knew it was a tough cut to me. He took some good punches there, especially after the 1st round. He looked like he was going to go. I can't remember if it was the 2nd or 3rd round. When did he go down? It's the 2nd round.
First round, then the 5th, then the 7th.
And then, you know, I was catching him all the time with big punches, body punches, punches to the head. Brian and Pat were saying to me, you know, just take your time, keep picking the punches, don't get involved with the fight. Because when you get involved with the fight, you end up with thick lips like this, and we don't want that.
The key argument in the lead-up to that fight was that Pretorius had been fighting mainly as a light middleweight and middleweight before. Do you think it was your extra strength that told in the end there?
Yeah, it was the extra strength and the extra power. I mean, you know, you could see from the size difference there. You know, it was his choice to come up to super middleweight and face me. I've had 5 or 6 fights at super middleweight. You know, I knew I was stronger the weight. You know, but at the end of the day, he was a big puncher. He thought he could bring it up to super middleweight, and obviously he couldn't. He caught me with some punches, you know, some good punches that maybe I shouldn't have took, but it's my first defence. You know, as you can see there, I've got a lot of grit as well there. You know, I can take a punch and I can also dish them out.
Do you feel that tonight, I mean, you were bringing the title home. There were those who said, well, he might have just got lucky against Nardiello that night, that you had something to prove to the big London crowd here?
That's it, yeah. I mean, I went over and people didn't, you know, it was a tough job in Italy. If you know or if you don't know, you go to Italy and you're boxing Italian in his own backyard, especially for the world title. It's not the easiest job in the world, you know what I mean? Like they say, you got to knock them out to get a draw. You know, there was still a lot of doubters out there, and I proved them all wrong again. And maybe in my next fight, there'll still be more, and I'll prove them wrong again. You know, I proved tonight, you know, it was a tough fight. You know, I took some punches that maybe I shouldn't have took, but that's proved to the people who say, "Ooh, you know, he's a pretty boy and all the rest of it. Can he take a punch?" Yeah, I can take a punch, and I can dig it, and I can dish him out as well. And I'm going to be here for a long time.
He's doing it all right so far, isn't he? And next up, a man who has all the experience and everything else that the world class requires, the WBO World Super Middleweight Champion, Steve Collins.
This month, Sky Sports will be there as Scotland hosts its first World Ranking Snooker event. Defending champion John Higgins defends his title against a competitive international field. So, let the referee do all the hard work while you sit back with a tall glass and watch the smoothest viewers around as they take to the table at the Aberdeen Exhibition Centre. For the victor, the prize is glittering. The International Open starts Sunday at midday on Sky Sports 3.
You know, after a hard day of fiddling with sticky-back plastic, it's always such a pleasure to have a light supper on the sofa in front of the telly. As I said to myself the other day, Noxie, nothing goes better with a juicy lamb chop than that Bravo TV channel. By gum, it's great, I'll tell you. Virgin Witch, House of Whipcord, Basket Case 2... I make sure I watch it every night. I have a whale of a time.
I'm on my way to Paris for the weekend. It's only about 3 hours away by Eurostar. Of course, I could have gone to the country for the weekend. But I had to decide. Would I rather have lunch in Paris or lunch by the motorway? Lunch in Paris or lunch by the motorway? Lunch in Paris? By the motorway? Paris? Motorway.
Go for lunch in Paris or Brussels from only £59 return.
Yeah, Rover 600 automatic. Nightfire red. 14 months old. Leather seats, beige to match the interior. Yes, we've got one. Has it got the walnut dash?
At Rover dealers, we believe you should have the same choice of used cars as new ones, which is why every dealer has access to a wide selection of quality-checked used Rovers.
Yeah, what's this about you writing off CJ's Rover?
Including just the one you need.
Why is Seinfeld so good?
You know, the key to success in any business is to surround yourself with a lot of really smart people.
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
I'm depressed. I'm inadequate. Yes, I got it all.
Did you hear this?
You're not very bright, are you? No, I'm not.
All new Seinfeld, Thursdays at 9 on Sky One.
It's must-see TV.
Next into the ring at the London Arena, the outstanding WBO World Super Middleweight Champion Steve Collins. This is a champion who is not in the habit of avoiding his major rivals, and he is desperate now for a fight against the world star Roy Jones. But Collins knew there was no place for complacency against the durable and vastly experienced Frenchman Frédéric Sellier this weekend. Collins assured us that it would be business as usual. Same training camp routine in Jersey, same fight plan, same mental resolution on the night. His sixth title defence here. He says he's at the peak physically and mentally, and on a winning run of 13 straight. Here's Glenn and Ian.
Collins wearing that rugged fight face that he puts on in the week of fights. Away from it, he's a very amiable family man, but on nights like this, he disguises it awfully well.
He does. He locks himself away for several weeks. He really does it right. You know, he's a thorough professional. He's been through the mill. He's been in with the good fighters. Such a tough character. And you can guarantee he's going to be in good form here.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we present our next World Championship featured attraction here at the London Arena. Introducing to you our judges scoring this bout from ringside: Aubrey Erasmus, Roy Francis, and Paul Thomas. Presenting to you our referee in charge of this bout, working in this his 88th world title bout, Joe Cortez. All right, fans, here we go. We're ready for action with the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. I present to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks and hailing from Toulon, France. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 1/2 pounds, or 167 1/2 US pounds. His record stands at 43 wins, 6 losses, and 3 draws, with 29 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the former European champion, currently ranked the WBO #1 super middleweight contender, introducing Frédéric Sellier. And his opponent across the ring on my right is the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing tartan trunks and hailing from Dublin, Ireland. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 11 stone, 13 1/2 pounds, or 167 1/2 US pounds. With a record of 34 wins, 3 losses, he has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the 2-time world champion, making the 6th defense of his current title, introducing the WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the World, known as the Celtic Warrior, introducing Irish Steve Collins. Once again, Joe Cortez, our referee in charge.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want good sportsmanlike conduct. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
Joe Cortez, 88th world title fight for him, is the referee. In the past, he's handled Evander Holyfield against Riddickbow, the third fight between them, which was very eventful. He also handled Azuma Nelson against Jim McDonnell over here. This is Cellier here, and the French are on a bit of a roll at the moment. Khalid Rahilou dethroned Frankie the Surgeon Randall for the light welterweight crown recently against the odds. Cellier is looking to cause another shock here. He's been very determined, doesn't speak a word of English, hasn't had much to say this week. Can he handle Collins? In the past with Steve Collins, in what have looked his least demanding defences, he's looked quite ordinary at times.
Yes, he's the type of fighter that you feel needs a big challenge to really bring the best out of him. And that, that's the one doubt in this sort of fight, where he maybe just hasn't lifted himself because he maybe feels Cellier is not a good enough challenge.
Cellier will be aiming to prove otherwise. And he's got a record that you have to respect, although in his only previous attempt to become a world champion, he was stopped in 6 rounds by Frankie Lyles. He took a bit of a beating as well that night. Lyles, the current holder of the WBA crown at this weight. Sorry about all these alphabet soups that the world titles seem to be these days. Now this is a good attack from Collins, some good body punches from him there. Referee Joe Cortez just a little concerned about 1 or 2 landing around the back of the head. Collins, as always, with the shamrock shaved into the side of his hair.
Collins just looking to box a little, looking to find the range with the jab. We're used to him recently just rushing in, but he's not electing to do that.
Body punches early on from Collins, who's not a knockout artist, but his unrelenting pressure and his strength certainly wears opponents down, as Nigel Benn found out twice. He says he feels like a rock, indestructible. Good countering right hand there from Cellier. Half smile spread across Cellier's face there as he was caught with the left hand. What does the Frenchman bring to the party here? He's walking onto a few.
He is. He's coming in a little square on, and Collins landing with a decent right hand. And also, as you said, the left hook was good. That brought the little smile from Cellier.
It's been a pretty good opening round, this, for Steve Collins, particularly with the body shots. Not too much from Cellier so far. Collins is finding him a pretty easy target as well. Cellier's occasionally landing with counters. There's a good right hand from Collins as well, who's looking pretty sharp. Collins is opening round. Well, this fellow has got such a magnificently tough granite chin that he can afford to take the odd punch. He's never, ever been stopped in all the big fights he's had at the top level.
And there you see the body shots. Collins relied on that a little bit in that round. I thought it was a good, thoughtful start from Collins. He started behind the jab. He put Cellier on the back foot, and he put his punches together well. You see he's letting them go there, left and right. Cellier comes back with a little counter, but Steve's already on the way out at that point.
Good shots from Collins there. Cellier dangerous with the right hand a couple of times. He does have 29 knockout wins, Cellier, in his 43 victories.
Seconds out. Round 2.
Second round, due to go 12, of course.
Collins doing the right thing. He's commanding the centre of the ring, keeping Cellier on the back foot.
Collins, I know, feels that Cellier's style is made for him. He said, I don't need any disrespect, but I could walk in off the streets and beat Frederick Cellier on my worst night. Good right hand from Collins there. Sellier came back. He's quite prepared to trade. This is a brave and committed fighter, this Frenchman. Make no mistake about that.
Sellier having a little bit of success with his counter rights. And I think there could well be a cut. He's just dabbing at the left eye, Sellier.
There's certainly some blood around. We'll try to identify the source of that. Again, sharp right hand from Sellier. Certainly blood by the left eye.
Yes, it looks as if he's sustained a cut to the left eyebrow, Sellier.
He was cut against Frankie Lyles. So it's been a problem in the past for him. Collins's boxing brain will be working overtime.
Good right hands from Collins in there, but Sellier come back with a good right of his own.
Sellier making the jump up from European level to world level. He's failed to do it in the past. He's having his successes here against Collins.
Yes, he is, especially with the right hand. Collins just bringing the left hand back low when he jabs, and Sellier picking him up with that punch.
There it is again. Right on cue, as you said it, Glenn. As if to give a specific example.
And again, Sellier lands with the long right hand. Collins has to lift the left hand up a little.
More even this second round. And that's a good combination from Sellier. Right hand and then a left. He's not a fighter you can afford to take lightly. Sellier just punched the air for a moment there. I think he thought he did rather well in that round.
There's Collins. I think this could be where the cut is. They're both in there. They just see it again from another angle.
10 seconds.
It could have been that slicing right hand down the side of the eyebrow. He certainly dabbed at the eye just after that.
Round 3.
Third round. Collins in his tartan trunks. Of course, the head's coming dangerously close together there. And Sellier won't like that, particularly now he's already sustained a cut. Collins, who's changed styles. He used to be something of a counter-puncher. Now he's a marauding brawler. Not always pretty to watch, but pretty effective.
He's come out in this round to pick the pace up a little bit, Collins. I think they told him in the corner he's got to close the distance down. He's got to start putting a bit of pressure on Sellier, or he'll start growing in confidence.
Interesting to see whether Collins gets that left glove up a little more too to avoid those right hands that he's been shipping. Collins will just work relentlessly away. Even in the 3 defeats he's had in his 37 fights, 2 of those were by split decisions, and both in championship fights. One against Reggie Johnson, the other against Sambu Kalambe. The only other man to beat him was Mike McCallum. He's won his last 13 now over 4 years, Collins. It's quite a run, and he has a feeling this is his time.
Yes, he's seen it all before, and he's the sort of fighter that thinks on his feet, so he'll be looking for the openings. He'll be puzzling things out in his mind. How's the best way to trap Sellier?
Cuts opened up again from the Frenchman. Again, the heads coming dangerously close together there. Joe Cortez a bit worried about that. A lot of feverish French coming from Cellier's corner from trainer Alain Ruocco. He used to be a welterweight back in the 1970s. Afraid I can't do the translation for you, even if I could hear it clearly.
It's better work from Collins. Again, getting the centre of the ring, leading first, and generally for this part in the round, just getting off better.
Good little right hand in there, so worked in close. Cellier's corner are telling him to throw more combinations. Some blood now that's wiped off on the side of Collins's head. I think that's come from the cut that Cellier has. I don't think Collins himself has sustained a cut.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Cellier in the blue trunks, the man from France. So far, this 24 hours of boxing has gone well for the home fighters, but Collins getting caught by punches, rather too many for his liking.
Yes, again, as he comes out with that left hand, he gets hit with that right one from Cellier. And twice he was rattled with good right hands amongst them combinations.
Scorecard with Collins on a 2-point lead.
Collins himself landed with a good right hand in there. Cellier, a very cagey opponent.
And this, of course, is a big, big chance, probably a last chance for Cellier. He knows that late in his career. He'll want to seize it. That's better from Collins.
Yes, he just caught Cellier as he came up there. Landed were too good, and the left and the right were good punches.
Good doubling up on the jab from the Frenchman. Collins in his 4th defense in the last 10 months or so. And a little aside to me, before I was about to do an interview with him over in Jersey, he said, I am very tired. I need a good rest after this.
Very short little left hook in there again from Collins, who switched from the body, long right hand, the body to the left hook.
Some good body shots in there that time from Collins. Must be a very discouraging man to fight, mustn't he, Steve Collins? You hit him with good shots, and he still wants to keep on coming forward at you.
Yes, he can really fight, and he can box. He can think when he's in there. He's not just a one-dimensional fighter. And in this round, he's been sharper throughout. Just starting to land more often with a long, stabbing left and right.
Back Cellier up against the ropes, but the Frenchman is clever enough to get out of there.
Collins has worked the jab good in this round, trying to double and treble up that jab.
That's a good combination from Collins. Collins, who's been doing his sparring in Jersey with a very promising cruiserweight Kelly Oliver, a 4-time ABA champion, who he says he really rates.
There we saw Cellier get a bit of success with his short little right hand in there, and again. So he's far from out of it. There we see it from another angle. Collins such a good chin.
Seconds out.
Good work with the jab by Collins there. He certainly is more brawler than boxer these days, Steve Collins. Corner of worked on the Cellier cut. Patched it up for the moment, but it could reopen again once a punch lands on it. Like that one, right hand. Countering right from Cellier, but Collins doesn't care almost. He's prepared to take those, walk on through them to apply his own pressure.
That was a good left-right, and again with the jab there to follow up. Good punches from Collins.
Impressive accuracy in this round from Collins. He stepped it up here. Cellier begins to look more tired. His face becoming a bit of a mess. Finding, like so many fighters have found before him, that it's almost impossible to break the fighting spirit of Steve Collins. That was on the border and maybe below from Collins. I thought it was just about legal. The referee had his doubts.
Yes, he was just pulled down, and I think that's why I went a little bit lower. He's certainly getting his shots off well now as he's warming up. And again, a good left-right from Collins. Cellier come back with a good right there.
Chance of Steve-O ring around this London arena. And that's a cracking right hand from him as well. He's picking his punches pretty well in this round, Collins. There he is again. Cellier is beginning to take some consistent punishment.
He's relying on his boxing a lot better than we've seen him. And now the cuts opened up on the bridge of the nose.
A bad one too.
There's a lot of blood about.
And that's why we've got a timeout. Well, they're taking Cellier over to Collins's corner, but we're just going to have a look at that, the doctor. It's over. One hesitates to be critical of officials stopping fights, particularly in view of the safety regulations. But the fact is that Steve Collins is still WBO super middleweight title holder and will still be chasing Roy Jones if he can ever track him down, the man who holds the IBF version of this title.
There it is, just again that choppy right hand. I think that's what did the damage. He come back good with the left hook, Collins. He was really just getting his rhythm going there. And you see he dabs at it straight away, and that was, it did look a very deep, bad cut there, but it was definitely a punch that did it. That overarm right hand. Good punch from Collins. He was in good form, I thought, tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 20 seconds of round number 5. Our referee in charge, Joe Cortez, stops the contest on advice of the ringside physician. He's the winner by way of technical knockout. Still the WBO super middleweight champion of the world, the Celtic Warrior, Irish Steve Collins.
Well, Steve, still the champion, 6 defenses. Satisfied with that?
Yeah, everybody thought I had a problem getting motivated. I had a slight problem getting motivated because I knew I was a class above this guy. So I just went out and I said, I'm going to knock the kid out. I wasn't going to go to the points. I was sure of that, and that was the point I wanted to prove. I'd also like to take this opportunity to tell Roy Jones, I'll fight you anywhere, anytime, any place. You're running scared. People call you the fighter who's afraid to fight Steve Collins. I've beaten the best in this division. I've taken on the iron. You fought nobody. I'll expose you for what you are. You're a pretender. Anytime, any place, I'm ready.
Well, that's quite a call for Roy Jones to get in the ring with you. Now, you've been threatening to go to Pensacola and knock down his door to get this fight. I mean, is that just publicity talk? Are you really going to do it?
Roy Jones is running scared. I'm going to come knock on his hall door. I'm going to stand in front of him. I'm going to ask him, why is he afraid to fight me? Why won't he fight me? Be a man and fight me.
Well, we'd like to see it happen. Just going back to Frederick Cellier tonight, he made it pretty tough and competitive as long as it lasted.
He was a durable guy. I caught him some good hard shots. He cut up pretty bad. He was supposed to come to me, but he got on his bike and moved a bit, so it lasted a little longer than I anticipated. But I was very relaxed, I was very confident, and it wasn't until I stepped up a gear in the 5th round was it over.
If you don't get to fight Roy Jones, how do you see your future mapping out in the coming months? I mean, you were telling me when we were in Jersey that you'd like a bit of a rest because you've had a tough old schedule, haven't you?
This is my 4th fight, just over 10 months. My kids are watching the fight tonight. I want to send my love to my children. I haven't seen them for a long time. Gonna go home, take a holiday, but I won't be going away for long. I'll be back soon, and I'm going to continue reigning in the super midweight division until there's no one else left to fight.
He's been doing it all right for a while now, hasn't he, Collins? And so to the main event of the evening at the London Arena, the opportunity for Prince Naseem Hamed to establish himself as the world's #1 featherweight. He puts his WBO world title on the line against the IBF title holder Tom Johnson of the United States. Given Johnson's reputation, this looked like being Hamed's toughest test yet. But I have to tell you, you'd never have known it as we eavesdropped his final preparations in his suite at the Grosvenor House Hotel in the West End of London, in the company of his gym mates from Sheffield, incredibly relaxed and laid back. But it's a sort of a blurring of the limits of a sportsman and a pop star with Naseem Hamed these days, a luxury car journey to work, and his hope to strip away the hype for a performance awaited around the world.
Of 96's fiercest club tracks and the annual.
So now down to the main business on the night of the champions, a dual title showdown at featherweight. Naseem Hamed defending his WBO world title, Tom Johnson defending the IBF crown, and at stake the right to be described as the world's leading featherweight. And by beating an American star, Prince Naseem also knew he could now stamp himself on the watching American public as well. Johnson is in the ring as we join our Master of Ceremonies, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, introducing the WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
Well, the entrance will be spectacular, but he has to make the performance match it. It's the entrance, really, isn't it, of a rock star, really. The fans here have paid up to £250 for their tickets. And, Glenn, I guess they expect this kind of thing. They want it. They get it.
They certainly do, and especially with Naz. He loves it all. I mean, you know, he plans his entrances out. He was out there earlier practicing what he was going to do on the entrance. Tom Johnson in his corner was just going through the motions like a true pro. Naz, very different from the norm.
One thing I can tell you is that Tom Johnson has not been fazed by any of this at all. He actually came over and leant over the ropes and winked at Glenn and I while all this has been going on. Just gave us a wry little smile as if to say, yeah, I knew all this would be happening. It's very, very interesting here. The gnarled old pro against the young millionaire showman. You could not get two more contrasting characters than Prince Naseem Hamed and Tom Boom Boom Johnson. Well, Prince Naseem Hamed, after his protracted ring entrance, will now make his final spectacular acrobatic leap into the ring. And that is when the showmanship has to stop, and then he has to deliver. Has to be said, crowd absolutely lap it up.
All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, the bout you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it is a showtime! With the IBF WBO Featherweight Championship of the World scheduled 12 rounds of boxing. Presenting to you the world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring, wearing black trunks with red trim, fighting out of Detroit, Michigan, by way of Evansville, Indiana, in the United States. He weighed in at 8 stone, 13 and a half pounds, or 125 and 1/2 U.S. pounds. With a record of 44 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, he has 26 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 12th defense of his title, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, a true warrior of boxing, the IBF Featherweight Champion of the world, Tom Boom Boom Johnson. And his opponent across the ring, the world champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing his leopard trunks, hailing from his hometown of Sheffield, England, and proudly representing his heritage of Yemen. His weight, 9 stone even, right at the limit of 126 U.S. pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring, 24 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 5th defense of his title, here is one of boxing's young sensations, the colorful and explosive, undefeated WBO Featherweight Champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
A really big fight atmosphere here.
Now to give instruction.
All right, gentlemen, you both received your pre-fight instructions. I expect a clean fight at all times. I want a clean break. Watch your heads, watch your low blows. I wish you both good luck. Let's touch gloves. Good luck to you.
American referee Rudy Battle, the Hamed camp, dropped their objections to him earlier this week. He's had 74 world title fights, Rudy Battle, and one of them was the famous Tyson-Spinks fight, which lasted only 91 seconds. Is that some kind of omen for what's going to happen here? One of the key things is what happens when Prince Naseem Hamed lands what he calls his rocket launchers. Johnson has been on the floor once or twice in recent defenses. He's got up to win. If he catches the power of Prince Nassim, what will happen then? Will he get up from that? Will he be able to make his ring craft and skills tell? The early stages of this could be absolutely vital.
But Johnson warmed up long and hard in the dressing room. So you can guarantee he was expecting a fast start to this fight.
Nassim, as always, switching from southpaw to orthodox even early on. Sometimes he throws punches and leaves himself a little open because he's so off balance. Will Johnson make him pay for that kind of thing, as Manuel Medina did? And he hits a bit harder than Manuel Medina, does Tom Johnson. Two world champions clashing. Something has to give. Often starts cautiously like this, Prince Nassim, and then suddenly he'll explode into action. He's very, very fast, and the punches come from unusual angles like that left hand. Just for a moment, Johnson was caught by surprise. He's okay.
Well, I don't think Johnson will ever seen punches come in from these types of angles before.
These are not freak punches, though, from Prince Nassim. He works on this. It's a style that's evolved since he was a little boy of 7 when he first wandered into Brendan Ingle's gym in Sheffield. Good body shot, that was, from Johnson. Get the impression that Prince Nassim himself is just taking a little look, switching stances, going orthodox like now. For a while he's normally a southpaw. In the past, Johnson's had problems with southpaws once or twice.
So you can see there's a great deal of mutual respect. Ahmed is having a long look at Johnson as well. He's getting a little untidy there.
Now they build this up close and personal. In the last 48 hours, it's got very personal. Become a bit of an Anglo-American grudge match.
Johnson didn't like that. Hamed still trying to rattle Johnson.
Prince made to miss. Be sure that Johnson will have watched videos time and time again and will have tried to work out a style to win this. Not a lot in that opening round, was there, Glenn?
No, it was a very even round. They were both having a long look. Nas had a little bit of success with a couple of lunges, but Johnson come back with one or two decent body punches just around the side. But there wasn't any real great scoring shots on there. Probably a level round. Both just having a good look at each other.
10 seconds. Well, Prince Nassim has been predicting a third round victory tonight, but this second round is one that he's particularly favoured in the past. Any kind of win would be fabulous for him. Never mind getting the prediction of the round right tonight. Doubling up on the jab, neatly Johnson. Good right hand, which was taken well by Johnson.
Johnson not being drawn in too much. Ahmed likes to draw his opponents in, make them make mistakes. Johnson being careful, just stabbing out the jab.
Again, the American making Nassim miss. Cat and mouse at the moment. Almost a kind of phony war.
Ahmed has to rely on getting his heavy punches on. And Johnson, for the most part, being very evasive.
You can see already that Johnson has worked on a game plan. and is beginning to put it into effect. So far, so good for him, because Naseem has not really been able to land with very much too cleanly. Not yet, anyway, but that could all change in an instant. There he is, switching again to lead with the left hand this time. That's better from Naseem. Two good left hands from him. First significant work of the round, really, from the WBO champion. Remember, Johnson holds the IBF belt and has done for the best part of 4 years.
Still not a great deal of punches from either men landing correctly.
There was one of the attempted rocket launches. Johnson slipped it cleverly. There's a good right hand. That's better from Prince Naseem, and it's got the crowd going. And again, he finds the American. There was an attempt there at that corkscrew uppercut, which has dispatched quite a few opponents.
It was a better finish to the round from Hamed, just jumping in and then quickly out. Landing and getting out of range.
And the two of them right smiles at each other at the end of the round, although, well, Naseem was smiling, Johnson wasn't, in fact.
No, he hasn't been amused throughout the build-up to this fight. He's a class guy, and he just wanted to get on with the fight, didn't think it needed any build-up.
Hamed with a better success rate, 30% to 19% so far, according to the computer stats. They've both thrown about the same number of punches. Now then, Prince Naseem Hamed, of course, always has predictions, and the next round coming up is a significant one in that department.
Has made my mind up for me. She's predicted round 3, and if she says round 3, he will fall in the round she calls, because at the end of the day, I'm not letting my mum down.
Seconds out.
Well, he got the prediction right in his last defence against Remigio Molina, but this is an entirely different class of opponent. Johnson's been in no kind of trouble so far. Bet your bottom dollar that the showman inside Prince Naseem will know this is the round. He'll be thinking about it. Johnson knows about it too. Johnson was saying he's just putting himself under pressure by naming a round. He said, what's the Prince going to be thinking when they say round 4 or round 5?
Well, the two best punches from Johnson so far in the fight. Good right hand, come back with a wide left hook. Both of them landed.
Finds the target, not quite as elusive as he used to be earlier on in his career, for my money, Prince Naseem. Johnson dodging this way and that, giving it plenty of lateral movement. You just wonder if he has the capability somewhere inside to maybe take Naseem to school. Very clever little left-hand counter from Johnson, who's boxed well so far in this round.
I guess there haven't been a great deal of punches landing from either men, but the cleaner shots and more of them have come from Johnson in this round.
Again, Naseem tried the left hook. And he's being frustrated at the moment by this clever craftsman. But he does have the power to turn things around very, very suddenly. He's got him with a left hand. Johnson backed up against the ropes, has to take another right hand this time. He's in a bit of trouble, then a left. Is Naseem going to fulfill his prediction? Worst moment so far for the American. He wants to stand and trade, which may not be wise. Breakthrough for Naseem, who grins at close range at Johnson. And he's caught him with a right hand again, and Johnson wants to hold on. Combination punching. He's got Johnson going. This is a big round for the Prince. He falls over there. The crowd think it's a knockdown. It isn't. There are 22 seconds left in the round.
But Johnson is unsteady. He's been hurt by punches here. He's trying to slug it out with Hamed, and that could be dangerous.
His legs did a silly dance there. Johnson in the middle of the ring. He's felt this power. Can he take it? There's no doubt about it. Naz has got him going. Oh, and a right hand catches Nassim. Right as the bell sounds, a countering right, very similar to the one that Manuel Medina caught him with and knocked his gum shield out with.
That was a hurtful punch right at the end from Johnson, just to warn Hamed that it's not over yet. He's still in there, he's still got his senses together, and that was a good punch, but it was certainly Hamed's round. He got through with the better punches, and he hurt Johnson time and time again in there, and he was on unsteady legs.
Johnson will need all of the minute to recover, despite his excellent right hand right on the bell. Well, he predicted round 3 for his mum. It hasn't happened, but it nearly did.
It nearly did. He did very well to get out of that, Johnson. He used all his experience there to avoid the punches. This is right at the end. Johnson rolls away and then slips over the top with that right hand, just to give a little message to Hamed.
4th round. How much has Johnson recovered? Nassim started to nail him, and again he gives him that little cocky grin through the gum shield. Johnson retains his poker face. It's a good left hand as well. And again, the legs look wobbly from Johnson. This man has never authentically been stopped, and again, they wrestle each other to the floor. There is no knockdown, and Nassim there was doing a little imitation of the way he thinks Johnson's legs are looking.
And Johnson's starting to feel the power now, looking unsteady on his legs.
Is this excellent American world champion coming towards the end of his reign? He looks ready to be taken. His legs are betraying him a bit. If Nassim can find another humdinger, you wonder what might happen. Prince Nassim looks like a man who believes he's in control of this, and he may well be right. The punches are coming at Johnson at angles he hadn't really dreamt of, despite all his experience.
Because he's never seen anything like this before, but he's ready to stand and have a fight with Hamed.
There's still big technical errors at times from Prince Nassim. When he does miss, it looks awful, and he does get countered with right hands. But my goodness me, he does pack a punch, and he's so quick, and he hits so hard.
Well, they look technical errors for most fighters, but for Hamed, he gets away with them.
Yes, he almost defies conventional logic. Well, Johnson has been through a dodgy spell, but he's still there. And many times in his reign, he's come through bad moments to prevail, and Prince Nassim Hamed has got to remember that.
It's all gone a little quiet, just again having a little look at each other. It's only Hamed's round.
Well, the big crowd at the London Arena, one of the biggest we've ever had indoors. There was a huge one, of course, at the 9X Arena at Manchester recently, but bigger than this one because it holds more. But I think they could have sold this nearly a couple of times over, maybe. Vonzell Johnson, chief trainer for Tom Boom Boom Johnson, whose previous trainer died. So this is the first fight for Vonzell Johnson to be in charge in that corner. Johnson's such an experienced pro, he can almost motivate and kind of train himself. 5th round. This is already a pretty long fight for Prince Naseem Hamed. He's usually got them over by now. Get the impression, don't you, that Naseem is just waiting his chance to explode another punch through the gap, find an angle.
Yes, that's how he does it. He waits and waits and just waits for his opponent to make a mistake, and then he quickly counters with a punch from an unusual angle.
There's a left hook in there as well. Didn't really land too flush. Johnson's movements are more laboured than they were a little early on, though. He's taken a few. Johnson badly needing to find a little bridgehead back into the argument.
Yes, he's losing these rounds and falling behind on points, and he needs a good round. He needs to try and get a hold of Hamed with some decent punches.
Lovely right hand that was from Naseem on the counter. Steve Collins, having retained his title, watching at ringside. All the other fighters on the bill, apart from those still to fight, of course, out here and engrossed in the action. Waiting to see whether Prince Naseem Hamed can lift this second belt for British boxing. One thing I've noticed with Naz tonight is he's not quite as wild as one's seen him in the past. He's just picking the punches and the openings a little bit better, isn't he? It's just a little more mellow.
Yes, he's just tightened himself up a little bit. He's not been as brash. He just looks as if he's concentrating more on his work.
Two good left hands again, although Johnson seemed to just parry one of them. Very accurate. The head's coming dangerously close together there. He nearly walked onto one. That's a danger too. There's another left hand.
Johnson's trying to wait for Hamed rushing in with his left so Johnson can catch him with the right. He almost got it on there.
And of course that will double the power of the blow if he's walking onto it. Well, I think he's winning the rounds, Prince Naseem.
Yes, he's doing more. He's throwing them in better clusters.
There's his dad, Sal, runs the corner shop, which has now become almost legendary. Every feature you read about Prince Naseem, and there are loads of them, they all document the story.
And that's how I have it. Hamed going into a 4-point lead now.
10 seconds.
One or two good judges in the game have suggested that he has been slipping a little of late, Tom Johnson, in recent defences, but he's still the champion, and if Prince Naseem wins this, you will not be able to take it away from him. Good little right hand from Johnson, who must know that he's got to start to change the pattern a little bit, because he must realise that he's falling behind on the scorecards. Again, the right hand from Johnson.
And Hamed has a little comment for him after Johnson attempted that right hand.
Naseem, who's scored 43 knockdowns in his 24 previous fights. So far, he hasn't had Johnson on the floor. Only 3 opponents have managed to stay upright in Naseem's career to date. Tom Johnson got off the floor against Ava Beleño when we saw him in Newcastle, the Colombian. He was down in the first round and got up to win by stoppage in the last.
Johnson's recovered quite well. He got a little bit of spring back in his legs there, just getting back to some movement.
He's very, very wary of Prince Nassim's power now. And you have to ask the question, what is Johnson going to do to win the fight from here?
Because he's falling behind on points. He's got to try and land some decent punches. He's got to try and hurt Hamed. And a good right hand there from Johnson.
That was one of his best punches of the contest. He's not noted as a huge puncher, Tom Boom Boom Johnson. He's not a light hitter, and there he catches Nassim again, who again left himself off balance and knows it. A self-conscious little jig on the spot from Nassim. There's two good right hands from Johnson, who is just maybe rediscovering his confidence.
Isn't just getting the better of this round thus far. Two good right hands. And Hamed not getting close enough to land his own punches.
Prince Nassim has to be careful that he doesn't let Tom Johnson back into the fight. This is a very wily old campaigner, 10 years older than him. And again, the right hand. He's got careless in this round. It's been his worst round so far, Prince.
Hamed's just planted his feet, and Johnson has used good movement and just picked Hamed up from distance in a good round. And I think Johnson's round.
I think he won that round. Let's find out how Barry McGuigan is seeing things so far.
Yeah, I think that Hamed is training too much to knock the guy out. He's trying to knock him out with the clean punches. He had him in desperate trouble in the third and fourth round. He should now settle down and start picking the points up instead of trying to knock him out all the time. He's well ahead, he's comfortably ahead. I make the last round the only round that he's won, but if he keeps leaving himself open like this, look at those first shots. This guy can punch. He's a wily old character. He's been in there so many times. He knows how to handle these wild sweeps from Hamed. He's got to just keep himself composed, Hamed. He can't keep taking right hands like that, because this guy will hurt him and possibly even knock him out. He's got to keep it at a distance. He's got to box and pick up the points and try and steal this fight. And if the knockout comes, it comes.
We are at the halfway point into round 7. Remember, Prince Nassim Hamed has won all his world title fights so far by stoppage. Will he become the first man to authentically stop Tom Boom Boom Johnson? He's only lost twice, the American. I say authentically because there was one against Manuel Medina when he was beaten on a technical decision when the fight was stopped because of cuts in the 9th round, but Medina was ahead. But since then, Johnson beat that same fighter twice.
Watch the backhand, watch the backhand.
Just hearing that one or two of the American commentators behind us have scored the last 2 rounds for Johnson. Reminder that some people, maybe the judges, could be seeing things a little differently. Remember, there are 2 American judges and a Mexican scoring this. That strikes me as a bit odd in a fight between an Englishman and an American to have 2 American judges and an American referee, but there you go.
And that's all right, Hamedian. I still have Hamed 3 points ahead.
Yep, I had him 3 ahead going into this one. But Johnson is finding his way back. I think Barry McGuigan had a good point, didn't he? Nassim has to start picking up the points a bit and not just waiting to try and land an attempted knockout blow.
This Hamed just becoming a little flat-footed. He's got to try and get in range quicker.
I just wonder whether Hamed has just mentally relaxed a little after having Johnson on the run in the 3rd and 4th round. He may have felt he had it in the bag, but Johnson is proving otherwise.
Well, a fighter like Tom Johnson is certainly not one to do that against. You've got to have it all really right. You've got to be very sharp mentally. And Johnson just dancing around, content just to pick Hamed off at distance.
At the moment, he's just Outboxing him a little bit. The left hook gets Johnson going again. Oh, here we go. Clubbing right, then a straight right hand as well.
And that was all caused from a little short left hook inside, and again Johnson's hurt.
Bad moments again for the American. He's breathing heavily. Suddenly, Nassim has him on the run again. Oh, and the left hand sent Johnson reeling backwards. Three-punch combination from Nassim. He can be a chilling finisher. He's tottering now. Tom Boom Boom Johnson. This time Nassim is looking for the finish, but the bell comes at a very good time for Johnson. Just at a time when you felt that Prince Nassim Hamed was close to the stoppage, but he's in a bad way, Johnson, in that corner.
He really is, and he didn't look as if...
Well, I've said it time and time again. Whatever else you say about Prince Nassim Hamed, I think he is the biggest punching featherweight out there, and I think that's proving a vital factor in this fight again.
Without doubt, and he got it all from that left hook in close, got all his power in just a short distance, and then he kept the pressure on. He is a very good finisher, Hamed, and Johnson was doing everything there to move out of the way of these punches, but he was certainly in bad trouble at the end of the fight, at the end of the round.
Seconds out. Round 8.
Stayed on his feet somehow through all that, though, Johnson. 8th round, rising excitement for the sellout crowd at the London Arena down in the Docklands. Is this the round for Prince Nassim Hamed? The 8th round, he found a good left hand there from close in, and another one. And this time, Naz has started the round fast, which will give him a full 3 minutes to maybe force the stoppage. Lovely uppercut as well. Nassim. Once he gets his man going, like a lot of good fighters, he suddenly switches up about 4 gears in an instant.
This is very difficult for his opponents to get out of the way, because he brings these punches in from all sorts of angles. It's difficult when a fighter has got everything there, but when he's hurt, he doesn't know where they're coming from.
Well, there's been some sparkling stuff in the last couple of rounds from Prince Nassim. And again, a very hard-looking left hand that might have put a lot of fighters on the floor. He wears those leopard skin trunks, and he's on you with the speed of a big cat at times as well.
He's really putting power into the right hands now, Hamed.
Oh, he looks in a bad way. Johnson tottering, almost went right hand. He's surely ready to go. In this, the 8th round. Again, he somehow stays on his feet. Huge right hand. The referee thought about stepping in there. There's a cut as well underneath one of the eyes for Johnson, who's all over the place. We are surely only seconds away here. If Nassim can find another big punch like that, a right uppercut. Nobody could have taken that in the 8th round. He'll do very well to get up from this. And will the referee let him go on anyway? No, he will not. Prince Nassim Hamed adds the IBF Featherweight Championship of the world to his WBO belt. He is twice a world champion. And again, the finish was electric.
Yes, you've got to give credit where credit's due. That was a tremendous fight from Hamed, and he finished the fight in such superb fashion against a very, very good champion in Tom Johnson. So that was a superb win for Hamed and could be the start of the legend. He's a very good finisher. Look at the right hand. He was tottering at this point, Johnson. And now he just can't see the punches coming. They're coming in from all sorts of angles. He's got Johnson in trouble here, and he just keeps the pressure on.
And while you're watching that, Tom Johnson has needed a stool in the centre of the ring just to sit down. He took a lot. Proud, skillful champion.
And this is where it finishes, Ian, the right uppercut. He just looked for that shot, bent his knees, got all his power in it, and the beautiful delivered punch. Johnson just crouched down and just sort of fell into the punch, really.
It was a chilling punch. And yet again, Prince Nassim wins by stoppage. That's 13 in a row that he's knocked out or stopped. Who can live with his power? He says, praise be to Allah. Great performance in the end by Naz.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 27 seconds of round number 8. Our referee in charge, Rudy Battle, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout. He is still undefeated. He has unified the IBF and WBO Featherweight Championship. He is the world champion, Prince Nassim Ahmed.
Well, here he is, WBO and now IBF featherweight champion of the world. How does that sound, Naz?
It sounds great. 2 times world champion, as I say I was going to be. I said the 3rd round, but what can I say? Tom Pum Pum Johnson's a brilliant fighter. And what can I say? He's absolutely brilliant, and he took very, very good shots. And he deserved to be a great champion, but as you know, I took over.
Well said, that, but that was a heck of a right uppercut that you found to finish the argument in the 8th round.
Well, I knew it had to be a great shot to put him out, because there's been no fighters that has knocked him down and laid him there and just make him stay there. He's a brilliant fighter with a great chin, and I know now how he defended his title 11 times. Brilliant fighter, total respect to the boy. And what can I say?
You seem to have him going and on the verge of defeat in around the 3rd, 4th round. Then he seemed to come back into it a little bit before you found the finish. Did you feel as if you were maybe just losing control of things around the 5th, 6th, 7th?
No, I wasn't losing control. I was biding my time, baby. I was biding my time, and I realised when the time came, I threw a brilliant right uppercut, and that ended the fight. It laid him out. He just stopped there in his tracks. It took him out. I thank Allah for giving me the power, the strength, the training, everything. All my ability comes down to God, and I love him dearly. Thank you very much.
Now, in the past, of course, and you'll have read the articles, on the other side of the Atlantic, people have not been convinced about you. What do you say to them now?
They've got to realise now that Tom Boom Boom Johnson was a brilliant fighter. I mean, how many times did he defend his title? The Prince, at the age of 22, good-looking boy, came along and take it off him in his 5th defence. And what can I say? You're looking at a legend soon to be. I mean, there's time to prove, but I'm going to prove it, and I'm going to do it and bring it back to Britain, back to Sheffield.
What do you see that... They like that, they like that. What do you see as the way ahead, though, Naz? Now, would you like to fight Luisito Espinosa, the WBC champion, Wilfredo Vasquez, WBA champion? I mean, you've talked about having 4 belts this year. I mean, is that feasible?
I definitely see that happening. You know, I'm going to leave it to my best promoter in the world, Frank Warren. I mean, he's absolutely great. What can I say? He's fixed all the fights, got me to the IBF belt. I've had to get in there and I've had to fight tonight. I've trained well hard. Thank Dominic, everybody in the gym, from Johnny, Clifton, Ryan, everybody for helping my training go so well. Respect to the sponsor, Adidas. What can I say? I'm gonna, as I say, a legend soon to be. People in Britain don't need to worry about anything. I'm gonna bring everything back here, especially back to Sheffield, everything.
23rd birthday coming up on Wednesday, Naz, and we've already got it's an early birthday present, not only another world title belt, but a cake as well. How about that?
What can I say? I'd like to thank Sky Sports and everybody here in the arena for coming to support me tonight, because you've seen a legend soon to be, and I just thank Sky Sports and everybody. Frank Warren, especially my father, I love him dearly. And my mum, who basically said that I was going to win in style, and obviously it was a wicked ending, you know that.
And so the party commenced once more. There had been some strong language, especially from Nassim Ahmed towards Tom Johnson in the build-up to the fight. but afterward only mutual respect.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant fighter. And it was brilliant to get in, you know, and fight a brilliant fighter. A good little one.
You the young gun.
Yeah. Take care. I'll come and see you in the States.
Now we all wanted to know how the dignified Johnson assessed the man who'd beaten him.
He's a tremendous champion. He said what he was going to do. He did what he had to do, and he came out champion of the world. I just hope and I just pray that he respect himself and do what I've had to do over the past few years to retain this title.
I'll fight anybody who wants to fight me. I'm 2 times champion in the world, and I proved myself tonight from beating an absolute superb fighter on my right, Tom Johnson. All the praise in the world.
And what next for Naseem? Is this a product that will sell in America?
Jay Larkin from Showtime said to me he wants to get Naz on out in the States sometime in May. They want us to take him out there. And as we were saying earlier on, yeah, that's fine. We'll look at that. But he is based here, and we're not going to desert the British public.
I'm chilling now. I'm going to go out and have a nice party. Me and Alicia are going to chill for a bit, and what can I say? I'm 2 times champion of the world. I'm so happy with myself. I'm proud.
You going to take a rest now?
I don't want to rest. I don't like taking risks. I might actually go on holiday for a little bit, but not long. I don't know where I'll be going, but me and my girl's going to be chilling.
Well, he brings in the crowds and it creates such interest, but he stands or falls by his performances in the ring, and so far Prince Naseem Hamed has nothing to worry about on that score. Before I leave you, just a reminder about the upcoming boxing dates. Paul Lloyd against Libo Nkoko of South Africa for the Commonwealth Bantamweight title. That's next Tuesday at 10:30 in the evening, Sky Sports 1. Ryan Rhodes, another of the Sheffield stable, a friend of Prince Naseem Hamed, he's up against Peter Wardby for the British light middleweight title in Sheffield, Sky Sports 1, the following Tuesday, February the 25th at 8. And one more reminder, the 1st of March, a Saturday evening, 8 o'clock start time, again at Sky Sports 1, and the feature here, Shane Neary against Jeremiah Malinga for Neary's World Light Welterweight title, the WBU version. We're in Liverpool on that occasion. And that's just about it from us for now. Hope very much you've enjoyed the action on a weekend when every one of the home fighters made a great step forward. Thanks for being part of it. From the team, bye for now.
Night of the Champions is sponsored by Ministry of Sound, creators of the annual 2.